Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Interdictor делает. Hello guys, hello subscribers. The number of you rises every time and I'm very happy with that. Thank you. Today I wanted to make something different. I wanted to talk about the technology that incredibly changes the look and design of a final product of furniture making. That technology is named with a beautiful and I would say fashionable word patchwork.
Patchwork или patchwork.
What is a patchwork? How can you make it? And can you make it in an ordinary studio or workshop using the ordinary tools? Can we make something we have never made before? Let's discuss it in full details today. Alright, what is it? A patchwork. I have only one rule. In any unclear situation, surf the internet. And what can we find there?
Patchwork.
Or piecework is a form of needlework that involves sewing together pieces of fabric into a larger design. Impossible. The larger design is usually based on repeating patterns built up with different fabric shapes, which can be different colors. Those shapes are carefully measured and cut basic geometric shapes, making them easy to piece together. So that basically means putting pieces of cloth together. Our ancestors used to do it the same way 300 or 400 years ago. So there is nothing new or complicated about it. Of course we are going to be able to replicate it. Alright guys, I have a challenge for you. Using a beautiful technology of patchwork, let's create a present for mine and your friends. Let's say for their birthday. And let's make a furniture accessory. Soft pillow with patchwork style.
Patchwork.
Using the techniques of our grandmas. Every meubiliero who respects himself will never throw away those pieces of fabrics from their previous projects. I store them in a special place while they wait for their time. Something tells me that you do it the same way, and then bravely dive into this pile. Without forgetting to swipe the nostalgia tears from the gone projects. By the way, that was a beautiful brown poof. That was a gorgeous, beautiful English Chesterfield armchair. Brothers, remember our latest project about a poof? Poof found in a dump. Beautiful turquoise color, perfect fabrics. That was a good project. Those are garden swings. And that's... God, how many things have I made? This is our English chimney armchair that I have found under the snow. A snowdrop chair, as we called it. You will see the making of it in the upcoming videos. Once you collect all the materials that you want, get the fabrics ready for cutting. But before you would start to choose the fabrics that you want for your future project, you need to remember the rules about combining the colors of those fabrics. I have a very funny story to tell you about. One of my subscribers messaged me in Facebook. Alex, I really love your channel. You make such nice videos. The only thing I'm concerned about are strange symbols on your walls. What's that rainbow sign stands for? The rainbow? I didn't quite get him. So I started to look back in my videos, looking for some symbols. Even looked inside my workshop to look at the walls. And then I realized I got what he was talking about. Yes, I have found it. It's on my wall. You are 100% right. Rainbow is beautiful, but that's not a rainbow. It's an ITTEN'S circle. Very important for any design processes. It gives an information about color scheme. Without this scheme of capability of colors, you won't be able to connect the colors right in your inventions. I always use it and recommend it. I will explain now. The good old ITTEN has given humanity this scheme. Everything is very easy, explaining on fingers. There are only 12 colors on this circle. 12 main colors. There are 3 main capability rules. First is about the contrast capabilities of opposite colors on this circle. Colors who are opposite to each other can be combined. like this, or this, or this. The second rule is called the combination of a triangle, complementary combination of colors. If you use more than two colors, you are working under the combination of a triangle scheme, an isosceles triangle, and choose colors in the following scheme. And the third and the last one is so-called borderline colors. Let's say add three colors that you use close to each other. You choose the main color, and next to it will be those ITTEN'S colors that will be compatible for you. ITTEN'S CIRCLE. I use it. The beauty of making such a pillow with your own hands is that you are the master of the process. You can define any sizes suitable for you. I have chosen to make a pillow of a size 50 on 60 and make it from those rectangles of a different sizes. Here we have an improvised rectangle, and we are going to put our first line in it. It's good that the fabric is marked here. It will be easier to cut it, and we will choose its thickness with our eyes. I want to use the first line at its full length, not cutting it. By that line.
Линию.
The first line is done. And here comes our favorite combination of an English tweed and an English plaid, but not full length. The line is thinner, and we are going to put it a bit short, like this. Measure and cut. That's the second piece. Now let's look for a piece of the same width here. Looking at that riot of colors, I imagine myself our great-great-grandma who is sitting under the candle and comparing her patchwork with ITTEN'S CIRCLE. Comparing and crying. We are not going to cry and will bravely move on to the next step. Here is the color. It matches, right? Measuring and cutting. Something like this. The next step. From neutral flows, let's move to warmth with an effect of a full immersion. I suggest such a creative search. This combination is questionable, but in the end it will look nice. I promise. Maybe something like that. Actually, we could try something different. Let's add some jungle. This heat. In the contrast, we're going to place turquoise, almost following the ITTEN'S CIRCLE. Here. Let's put such a green line. And let's finish it off with such a warm leather. How you like that combination? It seems to me that the second option is more interesting. Measure and cut. I don't know what is up with me, but I decided not to use Mr. ITTEN'S instructions and finish the first layer with such a bright swamp green color. That color for the edge. Isn't it beautiful? And then our main helper, the sewing machine. Let's sew our lines on an equal lane with a single stitch. It will look like this. Repeating the process for the second line, precisely sewing them together on the same length. That's what we end up with. Moving on to the next one. Here everything is also beautiful. The next step will be a bit harder, as we need to sew longer lines. Here the fabric is gathered together, so we need to distribute it. And we are going to sew them with a little tension, so that they lay evenly on each other. This way, the line is sewed horizontally. First stitch is done. Don't be afraid that your lines won't match each other with their length, because you use different types of fabrics. For example, right now I'm sewing together leather and cloth. Not a big deal. At the end, we will cut them and they will match. There will be two same canvases and everything will be beautiful. Just sew them evenly and equally with a single stitch. With a little tension. At the end, we will end up with something like this. That's how it looks. Only the last layer left of the first part. Alright, take a look. Look at that beauty. Now to the second part. I'm interested. What would a good old Itten say if he would see what have I done to the second part? Take a look. Here is our gorgeous combination. Bright spot from the jungle, English plate, perfect braid, leather, and of course the green part. All together makes this combination. Now let's sew. When I was a little boy, I also have had a grandma. And she used to say, sew and cut, and you'll be alright. If you make a mistake, it's not a biggie. Cut and do it again. Eventually you'll make it. To make those hooliganisms into a godly creation, you need to suffer a bit. Now we will sew them like this, and like that. It's the hardest part. We're almost done, but there are 3 joints here.
А?
That happened. That happened. Not bad, right? Now we need to assemble it. What we ended up with. In the end, we have 2 absolutely gorgeous sides of our pillow that we just need to sew together. For those who had sewing machines, I'd like to say that we're almost done. Be patient. And for those who love it, I want to show what bag we have here. Let's turn it out. And look, we have a pillow here. Beautiful, gorgeous, a little rude, fashionable pillow with a patchwork style.
Patchwork.
Only a tiny bit left to sew in a zipper and fill it up. I won't bore you with the long story of how I added the zipper and how many days I needed. But anyway, the zipper is in its place. It's sewed in accurately. Everything works perfectly. We only need to fill in the pockets. And we're going to come back to what we started with. In Serbia, this thing is called mleveni sunđer, or shredded foam rubber. The main question of all questions is how can you put it in there, not to screw it around in here? That's not easy. Here is our beautiful, light, pretty, and very fashionable pillow. Let's conclude. I think that if our great-great-great-grandmas who were using the patchwork techniques were to create a tough battle with Mr. ITTEN, of course he would lose. You know why? Because primitive, emotional and heartfelt connections of colors in such a handmade creation is always more pleasant. Pleasant for hands and eyes. Of course there are classic canons, but I don't think that they would work here. It's not necessary to look at those formulas and make it the way Mr. ITTEN teaches you. Our grandma would suggest a fun, exotic and a soulful recipe. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. The patchwork technology that we have talked about in such details today has an enormous advantage. Imagine that you make this pillow yourself and then come to your friends or family and give it as a gift. For their birthday or 8th of March, I don't know. You made such a handmade present. You know what will happen? In the family that you bring it in, their interior will definitely have a piece of the color of your perfect pillow, and it definitely will match its owners. That's a huge advantage of this technology. Thanks for watching, my friends. We will see you soon on the channel Интердиктор делает. And I hope today's story was useful for you. And this technology will be my gift.